Hey guys, this is Neil. We have two hosts that have not shown their faces yet. So just enjoy some music and some World War II images, and we'll see if they show up. If they show up, I'll kick down the timer and we'll start the stream. So hang in there. If they don't show up, I guess we'll do it another day. So just hang in there. Update time. Stu and Scott are on Discord, so we're getting close. Stu has just shown up. Hold on, we're getting close. Hold on. Okay, Stu is on video in Vassal with Discord. We're still waiting for Scott. Hold tight. Still waiting on Scott. He's on Discord. Still waiting for him to pop in with video. Well, he doesn't have video, but just waiting for him to pop in. Scott's computer is basically a potato, so we're waiting for him to load in. Viewers, audio coming in okay? Music? Yeah, we need to buy Scott a new computer because he has this problem all the time. Chip in, $10. Yeah, I turned the music down a little bit so when I talk, giving you guys updates, you can hear me. Hey, thanks Todd for the $10 super chat. That'll go straight to Scott. Scott's computer fund. Stu's laughing in the background. Well, when Scott pops in, if he pops in, hopefully, I won't do the 5-minute countdown. I'll shorten it and we'll do a quick countdown. My schedule did not quite line up for a 5-minute countdown. Hey, Gabriel, thanks much for the $10 super chat. Straight to Scott's computer fund. 20 bucks. $20, we can get 1/20th of a stick of memory. Memory prices are nuts. Hey Todd, good question. Bring it up again when we hopefully actually go live. And Rob, if he's still in here, he might have some input, at least writing it out on that. So bring it up again when we go live. Cross your fingers. Oh, I think we have Scott. Hold on, hold on. Okay, for the curious, we have 33 viewers across 3 platforms. I don't know how many people are watching on Facebook, but we're streaming to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick for this live stream. We have a little over 30 that I can see. Hang in there. I see Scott, we just don't have audio. Yeah, the plan was to get on 15 minutes early. Scott was on, his computer crashed, and his computer is really bad. it's taken him 40 minutes to reboot and get back in. And Stu was just a little late getting home. Stu was a little bit fashionably late, but he got right on. And we lost Scott. And we are live, I think. Stu, you there? Scott. Scott's placeholder's there. Scott is having major problems this morning or this afternoon. But welcome to the show. My pre-work to set everything up kind of got thrown out the window, but we're sort of live. Stu, flex your shirt. Stu likes to yeah, Stu likes to get on people about routing, but we like to make fun of him for it all the time. So we made a shirt for him. Route better with cross-eyed Stu. Who do we have in chat? I saw a few people show up. How's audio? Audio okay? Can you hear us? There might be a little bit of a delay. We're streaming on several platforms. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Looks like most people are coming in on YouTube. I'll clear that up. And yeah, we're gonna talk about ASL. We're gonna spin the wheel. If we run out of topics, we'll see how it goes. And yeah, we had a 2 hour window. I don't know if we're gonna go 2 hours, but that's been cut down by a half hour now. So we have technically an hour and a half. Uh, Todd, what was your question? Again, bring that up and we'll talk about it. Yeah, they've been chatting here. It's been a bit invisible to you. Oh, can you not hear Stu? Stu, say something. Hold on. Stu, say something.
Hello,
There we go.
welcome to the channel, and I like Scott's background. Looks pretty cool.
Do you have Stu now, chat? Say something, Stu. Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2. Check, check, check,
You
check,
should be able
check,
to hear him now.
check, check,
The his audio input was set to default instead
check,
of
check.
my headset, and the default was speakers, so it wasn't coming through the
Oh,
mixer.
okay.
Yeah.
Check, check,
Okay. Sounds
check,
like
check.
you got him. Yeah. Who had the question? Todd had a question about. Um, Let me scroll up. Let me just scroll up. Hold on. Hold on. Here it is. I'll pop it up. Here's a question. What would it take to convert Hazel's to starter kit? What are the biggest things to think about? Some of the special rules discussed and question mark. So yeah, we could talk about that to start. Well, historicals they come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Um, from everything from mini Hazels that are included in journals like Suicide Creek and Hell's Corner, Gavutu Nantambago or whatever the hell that was called back in the day. And those are generally a much smaller scale. I think you could adapt those to starter kit fairly simply, but then there are Hazels that have tons and tons of special rules, and usually those special rules refer to all the Chrome that's in full ASL. Like for
Oh, right.
example, we've been playing Bloodreef Tarawa, so all those special rules would start referring to things like naval offboard artillery, amphibians crawling across shallow reefs,
Oh,
weird uh, casualty reduction rules. There's nowhere to route, so you have to have rules for what happens if you don't route. So there's fanaticism and casualty reduction, which is normal, but those would be much harder to adapt than some of the smaller stuff. I don't think you could adapt some of that stuff to starter kit. What do you think, Stu?
yeah.
And
I think
anyone
the biggest,
anyone in chat as well.
yeah. Obviously start kit, no elevations, so KGP is out.
Duh,
Um,
yeah, it's way out.
And
Plus,
red barrack
it has slopes
red
too.
red barricades you can do. You just can't have second levels unless you want to do a really basic like decision at else second level visual, like the first blind hex after it, or the first hex after a building is blind, but you can see everything after that. So it would be a modified line of sight or none at all. It'd all be ground level. So that's the biggest obstacle there. But again, then you have something like, I guess the example that they just put out where the Mario Kart bridge,
Mario
um,
Kart.
Mario Kart bridge, whatever it's called,
Uh,
I can't remember.
uh,
Jesus,
Marco
but
Polo.
yeah. So it's all flat, same elevation. The terrain is the same, are very familiar. Terrain is easy to include in the Hazel. It's because the guy's going to buy the rule book, the Hazel, and he's going to have maybe like a page. Like if you get any critical hit stuff, it's maybe a page, page and a half of special rules. Usually it's terrain. Sometimes it's like, weather or something like that. That's easily adaptable. But fundamental changes like line of sights and things like that you are using constantly, it gets to be a lot more problematic. That's why a lot of people don't do the Tarawa, because amphibious invasion, you got a bunch of stuff, naval up artillery. There's a lot to you have to go to the buffet and you have to eat everything on the table. So that's the problem with that. And
Uh,
Hatton flat. So Hatton's
yeah,
much more popular.
I don't know if you're monitoring chat on your end or the live stream on your end, but
Yep.
Todd says he thinks Hatton and Singling would be good starts. Yeah, you could probably
Yep.
adapt those fairly easily to
Absolutely.
starter kit. And you brought up elevation and one blind hex type
Right.
of simplified rule. I believe that's what Elst did
Yeah. I
because
think so. Else has.
Didn't have elevation, but it had a steeple,
Right.
or it has a steeple, which was, I think it was considered at level two, but there's no level
Right.
twos in starter kit at all. So I believe
Yeah.
they simplified it and just said there's one blind hex everywhere
Right.
behind an
Yeah.
obstacle. I think that's what they did.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, therefore you can like run in the orchards are safe, right, behind a single
Yeah,
building, but
yeah.
and yeah, just very simplified. Otherwise, you start doing math. We don't like to do math while we're playing a game. We just want to roll dice and roll our tens. So
And Rob said Conf Group Piper would probably be easy. Red Barricades of so much. I think he maybe said meant not so much. I think. I don't know about Conf Group Piper being easy for the reasons you said, because of all the elevation and
yeah,
slopes and things.
right.
Isn't Multiman Publishing or somebody working on a starter kit version of Red Barricades? I think they are.
Thought they were.
A
I heard that a
simplified
couple months ago.
version of it or something.
Now you could do the same thing with KGP is one blind hex after 5 hexes, just one. But the hills are a little more lenient. I'm not sure. I haven't played KGP, so I'm not sure the distance involved in some of the conflict, some of the engagements. But I guess if you're shooting 40 hexes and you're behind a crest, it could be difficult.
Can you even
So
get 40 hexes of range in Conf Group
I
Piper?
I
Probably
thought
not.
I thought somebody posted the other day. I think maybe it was Kurt and Brian said, I finally got a 33 hex shot or a 40 hex shot in a game or something like that, and I hit something. Or but but yeah, but that would be, yeah. The only thing is the elevation, and you can cheat the elevation. And to be honest with you, that might be the way to introduce some of the hills and a higher ledge. Just do like the one blind hex, like at all levels, so people don't have to worry about really anything more than like
Yeah.
a paragraph, or just that else. You would just take the else concept and plug it into all crest lines, and that's it. And then if anyone wanted to move on, they could read the elevation changes. At that point, you're used to blind hexes showing up in your game, and then you could extrapolate out and do a little bit of math. It's not that bad, because most of your ranges aren't that far to really make amends. But then you could make modifications as you go along, just like you would. with bypass movement and things like that. I mean, bypass movement is going to have a bigger impact. But
Yeah,
so
but the
that's
elevation thing, for those who just play starter kit, people that are watching in general, and correct me if I'm wrong here, if I oversimplify it, for every 5 hexes of range beyond 5, an obstacle generates one more blind hex. But for every extra elevation of height advantage you have over that obstacle, it reduces it down by 1 hex more.
right.
So by having a rule where things just make one blind hex, you throw all that math out the window
Yeah,
and you abstract it a little bit. But it could be an easy way for Star Kit players to adopt elevation into their games, I guess. Let's see, we have a couple comments here. Let me go back.
cool.
Todd said, he said, yes, they are, but you know it will be 5 to 7 years out. I think he's referring to the starter kit red barricades comment I
Oh,
made.
yeah,
There's
it's a long
there's
time.
a
It's a
little bit
long
of
time.
delay here between our voice and chat.
Yeah, yeah,
He says, which is fine, but it will be a while. Yeah, everything with ASL takes a while.
yeah.
And then Rob said, didn't Brian talk about adding in some new SK rules to Marco Polo? That we're gonna have to, I
I think
guess.
there's a roadblock, right? I think they said they had a roadblock somewhere.
It's
So
in the full version, so it must
yeah.
be. And they, I think there's OBA, so they probably just folded the decision at Elst OBA rules into Marco Polo, which is I read the decision at Elst OBA rules, and they were simplified. They worked fine, but they were easier to consume.
Yeah, Scott said he's got some buffering issues.
Okay, I
So
think Scott is present, but we may not have him in voice, which is too bad. So may just be Stu and I and chat. So just a reminder, this is a live stream. Please get into chat, ask questions, talk, and let's make this a back and forth type of event. Grumble Jones, most people should recognize that name. Red Barricades would need SK rules related to heat of battle. Correct. Heat of battle in itself isn't that complicated. The only complicated part of it, snipers are pretty simple. The only thing that trips me up on snipers sometimes is the alternate target thing that pops up once in a while.
oh
And
right.
and then if a unit goes berserk, things can get a little weird with that.
Yeah.
But then I guess if you have berserk, then you have to have rules
Yep.
for getting into an enemy hex during the movement phase, which I guess is covered in human waves. It's already in
Yeah.
there, kind of, I think.
You know what? When Todd mentioned that question, I think that's a perfectly demand item for advanced SK, where you would figure out what it would take to incorporate most of your semi-popular Hazel's. Elevation would be one of them. That would be an advanced SK rule. You could add the bypass in there as well, but just a couple like small sections of the rule book, not the whole thing, but just small sections that would cover all that stuff. And I think it would be essentially the programmed instruction method sort of thing, where you'd have one section, one page on bypass, one page on elevation, and one page on levels of buildings. Comprehend the same sort of thing. That'd be sort of building elevation modification. So it'd be like you said, you could add it 2 to 3 pages, 4 pages, um, and modify it into advanced SK. So that's people want to move on to ASL, but they don't want to. I mean,
Well, some people
no,
do.
yeah, but it's a lot. I mean, look, you got freaking 4 rule books behind you. So
Oh, oh
who
yeah,
wants that
I
shit?
have more than that. I got that in
I
there.
want the stuff on the right hand
Yeah.
side and the decision else right there. We'll get one more.
And
That's all I want right there.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah, the hell with that. The hell with
I
it.
missed Richard's super chat donation of $10 towards
Oh,
Scott's computer. Thank you
oh
very
yeah,
much.
nice.
Um, bypass movement. I have an article and a video coming. What's today? Saturday, probably Monday, of simple bypass movement, showing an example where a unit's kind of in a pickle and wants to get out of it, moving traditionally just through obstacles and taking a bunch of fire versus using bypass and getting avoiding all fire, kind of a A and
Right.
B uh, uh, example, and to show that bypass is actually very easy. Infantry bypass is
Right.
actually very easy, and I still am disappointed it wasn't included in starter kit.
I think maybe they wanted to put it in starter kit, but they didn't know how to incorporate because vehicular bypass really throws too many. I mean, a clump of shit in the game. So I think they could do the infantry bypass and exclude bypass for vehicles, and you just got to enter the terrain or be because infantry bypass is fairly straightforward and intuitive, whereas vehicle isn't. It's like, I mean, you get constant questions about, oh, I'm firing at the back side of the hex side for his rear target, and covered arc focal point, crap like that,
Hmm.
and it gets confusing, and it's not quite so intuitive. So you could just leave that shit out,
Yeah, not
leave it
only
out. But
not only cover arc focal point, but the AFE's covered arc changes, and
cover arc's a headache.
I believe you can't if you're in bypass. Correct me again if I'm wrong. If you're in bypass and you're on a hex side, uh, isn't there something about cha- you can't change your covered arc
I think
toward
that's
towards the obstacle? What am I thinking?
I think that might be narrow roads,
Is it
which
narrow
is
roads?
very
Oh, you mean
similar to bypass.
like village roads or whatever it's
Yeah, I
called?
think there's
Yeah,
like if
maybe
you have
that's what
like
I'm
an
thinking.
LL gun, you can't turn it on.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
whole bunch of shit in that. You know,
Chrome on top of Chrome.
yeah,
Let's have a
but
couple
yeah,
comments here. Rob says too much mist and concrete piper for that range. I think he's referring to your 40 hex
oh,
range. That's probably
40
true.
hexes. It was clear day, Rob.
Clanky Clanky 44 says Chef DuPont and St. Mary Glees would be a simpler transition to SK as the terrain is simpler. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
that
Chef
is a good point.
DuPont is pretty flat. I think there's a depression or a big level -1 in one of them,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's pretty
and
flat.
but sometimes the range might be really long that you're really not going to get engagements 2 levels away.
Oh,
Uh oh,
we lost
Scott
Scott.
took a shit. Scott took a shit.
Amy, can you jump in so the template's all screwed up?
Blah, my face cut in half.
Yes,
Blah,
it is. Your face is cut in half.
blah.
Uh, Neil says, yeah, the same thing. Drop zone, St. Mary Glees. Todd says, yes, Stu, this is what got me thinking about this was advanced SK plus. That's Stu's name for adding some rules on top of starter kit,
Yeah, I just like
which
the advanced SK. Kind of. There we
advanced
go.
SK.
Yeah,
There, we should be back to normal spacing there. Um,
yeah.
that reminds me, I think I mentioned it before. They're working on uh, basic training number 2, and we've had some discussion about advanced SK or whatever you want to call it. Uh, Rob says ASK plus plus, and I wrote an article months
John.
ago, months ago, John, an improvement, uh, where I have 8 alternate rules you could add from full ASL into starter kit to get you used to uh, kind of a springboard to ASL, or just sprinkle some ASL rules into starter kit. And the rules that aren't difficult. One of them is bypass,
Right.
and I've taken the bypass rules and I've distilled it down to a couple paragraphs, right? Where people can play starter kit scenarios with bypass. And I think some of the other things I added were, um, I think fire lanes I might have added, and
Oh yeah. Oh nice.
disruption maybe. Oh, infantry overruns, very simple. Get those
Hmm.
pesky leaders out of those hexes that
Yeah.
they're blocking you out of,
Yep.
essentially. pretty simple stuff. Hopefully that's in basic training number 2. Amy says we have about a 12-second delay. That's probably
That's not bad.
true.
That's not bad.
Probably true. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of a delay here. Uh, any more questions from the viewers here? I don't know if we answered Todd's question. I think it's very situational on which Hazels you could play with starter kit, but I think it could be done.
I gotta be honest. I don't think the advanced SK would be that difficult to compile. I mean, you've pretty much compiled 8 sections that you boiled down. That's essentially what it would be. You're not going to add all of it,
Well, I
you
didn't
know.
boil them down. I just recommended them, and then I showed examples of how they work. Because
Oh, okay.
some of the rules are like infantry overruns a paragraph. No
Yeah.
need to rewrite that. It's just a
Yeah.
paragraph. I
Yep.
rewrote the bypass rules and I took some stuff out of it, like going an extra. You can bypass 1 or 2 hex sides. If you go a third hex side, it's double the movement factors. I took that out because that's rarely used anyway.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
So kind of distilled it down. But the problem is, uh, I've written stuff. Rob, if he's still on, he's written a ton of
Ton of stuff.
Shazzle stuff. It's a shit ton of work, and to create an ASK plus plus or super advanced SK, it would be a lot of work. And even if MMP wants to do it, they have to find someone who wants to do it, work on it, and that may be a difficult thing to do. Amy, my bossy wife, says, "Spin the wheel."
What's
Should
the
we spin
shield? That looks cool. Is that moderator? Oh, nice.
shield? Where? Huh?
Oh, on the Facebook or the YouTube thing. She's got like a shield on her. That's cool.
Oh,
Right. Right,
oh,
Clanky, just like that.
yeah, yeah.
It would be, yeah.
Oh, let's see what Clanky says. Additional SK modules
Yeah.
should continue the format of including more rules to the system. This would allow an increase in complexity, nearing ASL with each module. Yeah, that would work. Problem
Yep.
is, MMP doesn't release
SK
Hazels
shit.
for SK.
But you
Decision
can modify,
else came out 20 years ago.
but they'd all be modifications to the existing SKs, and that's what you'd start. Like I say, I think the same area Glees and Drop Zone would be perfect because most of it's infantry with light armor, which is pretty much just SK and lots of
Mm.
open ground. I think that's a, and you could just do adjustments. Obviously, would you do SK Tarawa? Probably not.
Ooh, no.
That's probably not going to happen.
I'm gonna.
But
I
you
that
know
ca-
what you could, you know what you could do. What you could do is you can modify. Not that I'd want to boost. You could do other third-party stuff that have more hassles and shit like that. Critical hit stuff. That's. I mean, obviously you got a problem with that. Just the thought of that. I mean, but we have vassal, right? I mean, seriously, if you've got the rules and yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, then you can adapt those quite easily. I mean, you could actually take whatever thing, whatever like Stone Heights, right? I think MMP is going to do Stone Heights, which that's already out there. 2 other I think products are already out there for Stone Heights. So, and incorporating that into an SK. Again, you only need the rules. The scenarios or rules in a super modified campaign game, whatever you want to do with that. But those are pretty cheap. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'd hate to. You do whatever you want with your money, people. So, but there are a lot of other historical stuff because you can't. I would adapt the stuff that's out there for SK and kind of advanced SK it over. And since it's you might be your rules, your like retro advanced SK rules, whatever that's already out there, there wouldn't be a problem in saying, hey, you could use these rules on these game systems, and then obviously tailor it specifically to like Stone Heights, and people can buy it, or you know, at that point, Ray should just sell the scenario cards, and then you know, whatever. and that way he doesn't have to produce the map to make his shit a lot cheaper because some of his stuff's very expensive. I
Yeah.
always buy my stuff used, but anyway.
Back to Chef de Pont real quick.
Yep.
For SK, I think the hardest thing, I'm trying to remember the map. Uh, Probably Bocage might be the hardest thing there, and it's not. Bocage isn't that hard.
No.
I can't think of any other weird terrain. There's not even a
Right.
lot of buildings or
Right.
woods really.
In the
Mostly
starter kit,
Bocage.
they just added the concealment for all nationalities now instead of just the
Yeah,
Japanese.
yeah,
So, and you
general
could just,
concealment.
if you want, you could just do without that, or you could just say, hey, if you just firing behind units behind bocage is like maybe just give it +1, but make it like half firepower. Whatever. You could do simple stuff like that again to water it down to make it really streamlined instead of having to worry about a bunch of weird shit. So,
Uh, Cardboard Commander has a comment. I know of your channel. I don't know your real name offhand, so I'll just call you Cardboard Commander. Love that you all talk starter kit. I used to play full blown ASL, but sold everything about 8 years ago. ASL starter kit is plenty for me. Thanks again for the show. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, starter kit in itself, I say this, I think a lot of, not a lot, some full ASL players look at starter kit as a redheaded stepchild of ASL and they just kind of dismiss it. It's its own viable system and a lot of people are fully comfortable playing it. I play both. I'm okay with both of them. And
yep,
I understand the need for starter kit to have more content. Like I said, it's been out for 20 years. It has a little over 100 scenarios and one campaign game in 20 years. And but ASL keeps getting more and more. We don't need 200 geo boards for ASL. We don't need 8,000
no,
scenarios for full ASL. I think we're good.
yep,
Jerry, thank you for the name, Cardboard Commander.
yep. Yeah, LCP's got a whole bunch of stuff too. Yeah,
Another
yeah.
comment here. MMP out of the blue decided to reprint Hatton in Flames. No changes, but they won't do the same for Festung Budapest. Why? They have more out of stock stuff than things to sell. That's a true statement. I don't know why well, maybe they will. Maybe it's just coming later, a reprint of Festung Budapest. Maybe
Jesus, I haven't heard shit on that.
I haven't heard anything about it either. Maybe it's because it's another gigantic, massive city siege.
Yeah.
How
What's the
many of
best
those do
city
we need?
siege? Yeah, I mean, we got Seoul, we got this, we got that.
We got, yeah. Well,
Hmm.
Seoul is not MMP, but yeah, we got. You're talking about Fight for Soul?
Yeah, the fight for
Yeah,
Seoul,
that
and then
was
there's the
who was that? Is that LFT? Who did that?
mm, I don't know, and then there's the winterized one, which is Russian and German. That's like winter on one side and fall on the other, or spring on the other. That's a cool. I'd love to play that one. That one looks tight. I've seen some guys play that online, and it looks like literally small engagements of like different areas of the map, and not the giant 85 firepower stacks and bullshit.
Yeah, there's quite a
Hell, maybe
few.
maybe I'll sell my Festoon Budapest so we get that fund up for Scott's computer here going. That'll probably pay for about 5 computers the way it's going
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, because I'll never get into that. I'll never crack that bad boy open. So
Todd says, didn't the expansion pack come with Hedges Bocage rules? Yeah, it was
there's a
Behind the Beaches. Was
yeah,
it called?
the first one that was had hedge rules. Yeah,
I don't know if there's
it was
hedge
just
rules.
hedge, I
I don't
think.
know if there's
Yeah,
Bocage in there.
no, I'm not
Uh,
sure.
but hedges are just, or Bocage is just hedges on steroids.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, because there's no foxholes in starter kit, so you don't have to worry about that damn rule where
Oh, right,
if
right.
you're in a foxhole behind a Bocage, it gets a little complicated.
You can see the foxhole, but not the guys in the foxhole.
Yeah, it's really weird, but don't get me
Yeah.
going on chapter B9 or section B9.
Yeah, more walls and
More
shit.
walls and hedges on Bocage. It's basically a Bocage is basically a hedge that's a level one obstacle, essentially, unless you're next to it. or looking along the edge of hex side of it, it also blocks as well. So it's like a building on a hex side. You can't see through it unless you're next to it. And it gives a plus 2 tem, I believe. So it's just a
I'm not.
hedge on steroids in starter kit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the prep fire and then drop your wall advantage if you're in terrain. That would that would drive me up a wall for people pulling that bullshit. You know, I mean, I understand the bocage terrain, the whole 9 yards, and it was hell
Yeah,
playing. But when you're firing at me, I'm not gonna wait. You know, for my phase to show and then fire back at you. Oh, look, he fired. He engaged me for 20 seconds, and I'm not gonna fire back. Come on, that's bullshit.
yeah.
So, but anyway,
Rob has a comment here. Lone Canuck has some mini Hazel type stuff that might work. A Bloody Buron and Steelworks. Yeah,
yeah,
we played the Steelworks, big, the big. They don't. Lone Canuck doesn't really have campaign games. They usually have
right,
some scenarios, and they'll maybe have one big scenario
right,
on it. We
yeah,
played the
which
Steelworks
feels
one.
campaignish, yeah,
It feels campaignish. There's just no. It's big. There's just no refitting and reinforcement groups, that type of thing.
right.
Uh,
They have a lot of ASL for fun stuff. They have a lot of really interesting ASL for fun stuff, and mm, I've looked at some of them, and there might not be a lot of elevation issues with that. So, I mean, if there's no real terrain to look over, you could, like I said, you could do the Elst level 2 terrain rule bullshit because the map is 22 by 30 or some shit like that. Like, it's a reasonably sized map that you could put on a table, and you could easily convert a lot of that stuff over because none of that has special rules. At that point, you would be just covering the advanced SK basic rule book to incorporate in those. There's no rules that come with that. They're just scenario special rules in the thing, and you could water those down as well.
Now,
So,
Rob, are you talking about stuff that might work? Are you talking about for starter kit rules? Is that what you mean? Assuming that's what you mean, I'm not sure I can't speak for the other things, but I can speak for the Steelworks because we played the big scenario where you have to blow up the smokestacks. It's not a starter kit. The Steelworks isn't. It's got factories, factory rooftops, mortars on factory rooftops, tunnels, bunkers, minefields. Uh, it is all one level other than the buildings, but there's a lot of little technical things in there that I don't think starter kit players would be able to do.
that would be a third release of Advanced SK.
Yes. Jonathan Plot says LFT did so. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rob, or no, so Todd says, I don't really need the campaign games for starter kit Hazels. I think the scenarios would be a nice
Oh,
addition.
right.
Yeah,
Oh, true that. For all the ones that sort of like Rockaval or Roshinval or something like that,
however you
where you won't
pronounce
have a
it.
campaign, you've got the scenarios, but essentially that's what it is. The scenarios on a different map, which is essentially ASL for fun. And I played the first one, and I don't know. We got through 4 or 5 turns, and it was a blast. I played a little bit of Ozarakia Breakout or whatever it's called. Not Ozarakia Breakout. What the hell is that anyway? Anyways, I got one of my videos. It's one of the big ones in the videos. That's another solid one too. And to be honest with you, the elevation is not that big a deal because as you go up in elevation, there are trees in front of you, so you can't see shit anyway.
Hmm.
So the only thing you could see is the level 2 30 hexes over there in the woods. You can't see anything below you. So pretty much it's only a one level effect in that campaign game. And that's not really a campaign game. It's just a big scenario. Well, I guess it is, but it's a simpler one. And again, I love the terrain, simple terrain. Russians and Romanians fighting in the woods. I mean, what more can you love? No city fights. That bullshit.
Jerry says, oh, he popped that up again.
No,
I was
God, Jerry. Oh, Jesus Christ.
don't encourage Stu. I was hoping
Get
Stu
your ass to the woods.
could walk us through some route examples today. Ooh, how much time you got? You could be here all day.
Are you retired, Jerry? I hope you're retired.
Jerry also says, I would love to see more campaign games, but that is just me. Okay, now when you say campaign games, do you mean his, historical, which would be Rockland Ball, which doesn't have a campaign game, but it is historical? Or do you mean big campaign games where you have 7 campaign game dates, refit
Yeah.
phases, buying
Buying shit every
units?
turn,
Yeah,
yeah.
which do you mean when you said that? Be a little bit of a delay here.
I gotta be honest. Rob and I are playing the Crete, and I
Mercure or whatever.
yeah. You don't. Essentially, it's a campaign game without the. It's a scenario based sort of thing, like Todd was looking at. But you, but your performance in each one affects like your overall victory at the end. So you're kind of keeping score. Like it's almost like a like a pro. Like I went 5-1 and the Germans won the campaign, but then you could do it again or whatever. So I think that's easier on the paperwork side where you have to spend 3 days. One weekend I got to spend figure out what I'm going to be buying for the next campaign day. I just think it throws that shit. I mean, that's like battlefield integrity on freaking steroids. It's like nah, I can deal without that, and that's what I like about that. And is it Heat of Battle? I want to see Heat of Battle did the Chinese Lone March or Long March. That could easily be SK. That could easy
Yeah,
because it's all flat.
yeah.
It's all flat. That's easy. That's an easy SK adaptation, and that was pretty much just infantry on infantry, with a little bit of armor, little bit of vehicles here and there. And if you guys are, if the for the SK players out there, I would take a look at that. I think that could just be a straight crossover. You just need to know nationality distinctions, and there's really not that big a deal with that in that game. It should be a problem for SK players.
Couple more comments and some questions here. Jerry said, I guess referring to my question about whether he's referring to just historicals or big campaign games. He says like Red Barricades. So he
The big boy.
loves, yeah, he loves to rebuy and play multiple days. And I get the idea of that because the whole thing about a campaign game is, you play a scenario with 7 turns. It's over after 7 turns, maybe
Right.
6 turns, maybe 5, right? It's done. There's no living to fight another day. A big campaign game, you can get your nose bloodied day one.
Yeah.
For maybe the last 3 turns, you get your ass kicked, but you go through the refit phase, you find out where your control of their hexes are, you redeploy, and you start fresh, and then you can kick your opponent's ass the next turn. So you're living to fight another day, which I understand. But those big campaign games for me they're a big commitment, time commitment.
Yeah.
Gabriel asks, has anyone discussed maps with slightly larger hexes, not deluxe size, to make counters easier to
Right.
manage?
Yep.
Yeah, there's some stuff out there.
Yep.
MMP's
Yep.
done it in, I think, some of their campaign
And they're
games.
Hazels. Yeah, they're Hazels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their hexes are a little bit bigger. Well,
Right.
it helps. It's not. I mean, the ultimate
Uh,
the ultimate is this. Let me show this because I'm a big
budget is, but it costs me about maybe $5 per map board to expand it to like one like housel size. 11 by 17 is essentially what you're looking at. 11 by 17, have it photocopied or photoed copy is the setting, so you don't get all the reflection. Essentially shortcut. It'll cost you. The more you do, the cheaper it is. So that's just a FYI. But the SK stuff, I have that, and yeah, that way you could have the prep fired guys over here, put them a different part of the hex, and then you guys you want to move over here. It's hard to go once you play on those maps. It's hard to go back to the small hexes. I don't think I can ever play on happily play on the regular sized hexes anymore, just because blah blah. I mean that's why I avoid most city scenarios
Oof.
on the
Yeah.
base maps. It's just that I don't want to be I don't want to be bothered by it. I want something outside that you're moving across terrain. Exit scenarios are okay because you're not going to be stagnant all the time. I'm just going to be going through, and yeah, the city ones don't really float my boat. I understand the the fun of the fighting behind it, but I like to see things moving. I mean, yeah, I just like to see things moving.
Another comment. I think we lost voice when I switched to that view. I must not. I must have my microphone turned off. Sorry about that.
Oh,
If you missed it, I was just trying to advocate that to make people knowledgeable that in Vassal you can adjust the hex sizes and you can turn on a uh, deluxe style snapping, so you can break your counters out and put them side by side. Okay. Clanky says SK is all about where to go. It's all about simplifying the ASL system, but limiting the rules to just one elevation is a mistake, unrealistic and limiting. Yeah, they
keeps it flat.
they simplified it, because
Some of the funnest scenarios. Yeah,
they didn't want to introduce the system of, the 5 hex, creating blind hexes and then reducing blind hexes based on your elevation relative to that distance. They didn't want to include that, I guess. So,
I can be honest. I think a lot of my funnest engagements are like using board two. Hill 621
hmm.
and just elevations, just because of that. It keeps you alert in the game of who the hell's going to shoot me. Oh, my guy's over there, so I gotta take that long 15 hex machine gun shot and then clear that sucker off, and then the floodgates open. So the just having elevated terrain really kind of puts you on edge instead of like, oh, I'm just kind of moving here and they can't see me because there's like walls and shit. It's like you're playing, Wolfenstein or something like that, where you're just walking around a wall. So, but yeah, I think elevations are cool. I mean, you guys could, I mean, read through it for the SK players that haven't done that. Um, I don't know if you have a ASL rulebook, but it's the hills are kind of a small section. You could kind of grok your way through it, and I don't know if there's a lot of
The weird thing is
yeah,
that,
maybe a couple things.
did you ever think about the elevation stuff is in 2 sections, which has always bugged me. There's a
Yeah.
section in
Yep.
chapter A that talks about the range effects and the elevation effects and seeing in gullies. And that's kind of the mechanics of how hills work. And then there's a hill section in chapter
Right.
B, which talks about hills. I don't know why they're separate
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. But
Rob
yeah,
said, oh,
you always
sorry.
gotta read them both. You always gotta read them both.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rob says Permisol Bridge from the Four Bridges as linked scenarios 2, by the way. Didn't know that. Do I have Permisol Bridge? I don't know if I have that. That came in a journal, did it? Remind me.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I missed some of the journals in a time when I wasn't playing and
Yep.
wasn't aware of stuff, and so I didn't get any of it. I'm missing some of that. Uh, Todd, I almost bought both Marco Polos to compare the two to get some ideas, but my game budget just doesn't want to do that. Yeah, we've had discussions on why they didn't just have one bundled thing, and
Yep.
I don't know how much more it would have cost because you would have had to include extra counter cheats, I think, for SK that the full ASL players didn't need, and maybe a little bit more rules.
But
how much?
what's the
I don't
price
know what
difference?
that adds. I don't know.
So you've got SK, you've got the same map.
Yep.
SK has more counters, so right now SK one's going to be more expensive.
But some of those counters are probably also in the full one, maybe control markers
Yes,
or
the full
something,
ones, the full,
stuff like
that's
that.
why they have to add them in there. So that's essentially $10 a counter sheet is what the cost of what the retail cost is on that. And then you've got some rules in the SK one or the start for both of them. So what's that? 5 or 6 pages of rules, $1 per sheet, and then you've got the different scenarios. So they're $2 a piece standardly. So you're looking at $15. Just make it, I'm not sure. I think it sells for 33 or 44. Just make it $50. Call it
Let's
good.
let's compare the prices. Hopefully we have audio here on this one. I'm sharing MMP website. I just pulled it up real quick. The let's see which is which. Okay, the left one here is full ASL. It's $33. The right one is SK. It's 36. So it's a $3 price difference. How much would it cost if would the full ASL or a combined version be $36 just to have both or more?
I think
It's
I
a
think I
$3
think if they
difference.
I think if they jacked up for the cost of the ASL scenarios and there's ASL map pages or rule pages bullshit, yeah, that's probably $10 to $12 retail cost. So if the base cost was 44, that'd be 56. I mean, for both
Oh,
ASL
retail. Yeah,
and
I'm looking at the
for
pre-order cost, but yeah,
yeah, for the ASL and the ASK version in one box, hell, for the ASK players could just sell the ASL stuff to their ASL buddies. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, that's
I
probably
don't know.
why they split them. That's probably why they split them because that's what would happen, right? I mean, I don't deal with shit. I'm gonna so they lose money, but
I
it
would have
seems kind of odd.
I would
But
have preferred that they had them combined, but it's their business. They can do what they want.
yep,
Uh, I I pre-ordered both of them, so I'll do a compare and contrast whenever they ship. Actually, I have
yep.
news on that we can go over here shortly. A little bit of news,
Is chat still active? I see only
a little bit
Todd's
act,
last
little
post.
bit active.
Okay, okay.
Art
Excuse me.
Art B2LT sounds like a Star Wars robot. Art B2LT. Yes, Board Zoom is great. Is it an extension or is it built in? I can't remember if it's an extension.
Yeah, I don't recall. But
Jerry says we lost the sound if you change scenes. I think you should
yeah,
have had sound during the MMP webpage. Yeah, I think it might have been lost during the
yeah.
Vassal thing I popped up. Or did we lose it again?
I
When
don't
I
know.
popped up the MMP website, did we lose voice again? I thought
I don't know.
it said it was active in OBS. It said it was okay.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, I understand the market research purposes, but not everyone plays the Hazels. So, but if it was like if it's like an expansion pack, like a journal, like the basic training or like a starter kit journal where it's just like scenarios and like a mini thing in the scenarios, more like was it action not action pack, but the journal where they had is it the Australian guys Andy that did the jungle one, the whole journal
oh,
was a
the
jungle.
Aussie
Yeah.
themed one
Now
or
if they
whatever it was. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because you had articles and
Anzac.
other stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they did one SK and one starter kit, that would be more purchasable. They wouldn't have to buy a box for that or nothing like that. I mean, it has the map. I mean, you have the map in there, and I mean, you could throw a couple counter sheets.
Yeah.
It's the same price, right? Same $44 price for the same thing, but you get tons of articles in there. I think they that would have been an easier sell. Like if I'm going to buy something, I want a journal because it's going to have shit in there that's not going to be in the rest of the whole place. So
You know what
that's
I
my
wish
that's my opinion.
they would do? I wish every journal had a mini ASL or mini Hazel type thing. Doesn't have to have
Yep.
a campaign game, just a
Yep.
map that folds out twice. That's the size of the journal, so it would be 4 times the size of a journal laid out with 4 scenarios, but it's historical
Yep.
map. I love that.
That'd be
They
cool.
do it
That'd be
once in a
cool.
while. It should be in every one of them.
They should buy LCP's shit. Just I
Well,
mean,
yeah, that's kind of what they do, right? Or
it's
what he
already
does.
pre-made. Yeah, it's already pre-made. I mean, I don't know. I just I'm not sure why we can't all live together.
Todd has a
But
comment here. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of most of the discussion, not all of it, but I'm asking about the SK Hazel question because I just don't think I want to keep trying to figure out full rules. I've too many other games I want to
yeah,
play. I get that. Some
100%.
of us sickos, ASL is kind of our only war game because it's so varied and you can do so many things with it. But I understand there are a lot of players out there that like to dabble in all kinds of games, and trying to be focused on one as complex as full ASL is probably impossible if you want to play a bunch of other stuff. Starter kit, sure. The rulebook's 20 some pages. Easy, pretty easy to do.
If I started entering the ASL SK hobby, I don't think I would go ASL. I would go probably Starter Kit, to be honest,
If you
and
were
then
entering from the start
yeah,
now
because
today,
there's no way I'm gonna read. I just don't have the you know the I mean, when I was 17, you have the rest of your life to read the manual. I could read it next journal, next summer when we're off for break or whatever. But
what if you were 30 or 35?
30, you could do it at 30.
At
You
60,
probably
you're like,
well,
eh,
30 or 35, you probably got kids, so good luck with that.
yeah.
If unless you're single, if you're single or you don't have kids or whatever, then yeah, you could do that. But at 60, 62 when you retire, whatever floats your boat. But I think SK is easier to get the flavor and the taste for it. And then a lot of guys transition, so nothing's wrong with that.
Mm.
You got a buddy, say, hey, because you already know most of it anyway, and it's like changing jobs. You know most of the concepts of what you need to be doing, and say, oh, you just need to know procedures, and that's where like advanced SK would come into play. You're just learning new procedures to get you to the next step, and you know, I don't know, just it's because it's a difficult system. It's easy to miss a lot of shit. So
Let's do chat seems to have slowed down a little bit. Be sure to interact, guys. Live stream. But we're going to do a couple news items here. ASL news items. Starter Kit 1 through 4, since we're talking about Starter Kit, and Decision at Elst. This is from MMP. I think it was from their last We're Not Dead Yet, where they give tidbits, right? They never post anything on their website. They don't have a blog or anything. They just kind of mention stuff randomly throughout their video. SK 1 through 4 and Decision at Elst reprints. They are in the revision process for paper quality. I thought they've been evaluating this for quite some time now. I guess they're still doing it. Once the update proofs are approved, they're expected to ship and arrive by the end of August. I'm going to say no, that is not going to happen. It is what, July 11th, right? Today?
that's 7 weeks. It's not bad.
They're expected to ship and arrive by the end of August. Arrive, so they're gonna approve it, print out however many they're gonna print, load it, get it through customs, ship it across the ocean, get through customs, and arrive at their warehouse and be ready to ship. I'm saying no. I bet
They're
money on that.
They're going to use the cartels to transport it.
I'll bet money on that one.
Put it on those submarines. They'll get here.
Journal 17, currently at the printers, and as far as I understand, journals are being printed in the U.S. So there's no overseas and tariffs and all that nonsense with journals. Currently at the printers and expected to be ready in time for WBC, which is in end of this month, or is it August? Help me out. Stu, I don't know if you remember. Maybe someone in chat knows.
No clue. I have no clue.
Journal
in California,
features...
we don't have winter, so winter offensive doesn't mean anything.
Well, no, this is World Board Gaming Championship.
Oh, yeah. I think it's in September.
Is this... Yeah, it's in the next month or two. Journal features a variety of articles, including work by Deller, I don't know who that, and Carrillo, as well as an article on the NKVD by Tom Warren. I don't know how many. They'll probably have the standard 12 to 16 scenarios. I don't know what the standard one is. As far as ASL news goes, that is all I have actually. Unless somebody else has more news. Oh, I guess I can catch up on chat here. What do we got here?
Yeah, they're
Stu,
mentioning
Jack.
about the SL progression. The one thing about the progression of the SL to GI is the base game changed
Oh,
along the way.
yeah.
Whereas the ASK to advanced SK, essentially you're only going to be using mechanics. There aren't going to be half squads added. There aren't going to be scouts added. There aren't going to be. I did love scouts, by the way. I think scouts are a much more
I
effective
remember.
means of
I remember
figuring them
Scouts.
out. I think this bump shit is just stupid as shit. But
I know you're a
yeah,
fan of blocking.
yeah, but at least your base game won't change. So you're not going to have any fundamental armor changes, which is a giant nightmare. But yeah, pretty much it would be a two-step progression to it. But
Yeah, Starter
or
Kit
just
is
people,
building
yeah,
blocks. The original
yeah.
system wasn't building blocks. It was here's squad leader.
Let's add some more shit.
Let's scrap the armor rules. Not all of them, but let's totally revamp the armor rules.
Yep.
Let's change the morale system rules. Let's add ELR and other shit, right? They just kept
Yeah.
change. They weren't building. I mean, they were building along the way, but they were also just tearing stuff up as they went. Starter Kit
Right.
doesn't do that. It just adds chunks in. It doesn't tear up what was behind it.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, like I say, the scouts. I do miss my scouts. They are pretty cool.
Todd says, I thought I wanted to play ASL and one or two others. I'm curious what the one or two others are,
Oh.
but it doesn't seem to be working out that way. I've been setting game goals for the last 3 years, trying to focus on a limited number of games. Your comment is funny, Todd, because I bought a used copy of Beyond Valor from you. At the time, I don't know if you knew it was me from this channel, and I wanted a second copy, so I bought a used copy. It was barely punched. It was like a handful of things were punched out of it. And then I think right after I bought it from you, you promptly went and bought another copy of it. Because it's,
I think his cat pissed in that box,
yeah,
so
so
let's get rid of it.
it sounds like you're still kind of struggling what to do with ASL, with full ASL anyway. The starter kit's
Yeah.
perfectly viable system.
Yeah. It's easier to transport too. I have it all in one little
Yeah.
case. Yep. Much
Grumble
easier to
Grumble
transport.
Jones says, "Yikes! Bad memories of GI
Yeah.
Envelope Victory." Yeah, that's
I
when
still
most people
remember.
kind of not quit, but
Yeah.
yeah, kind of got
I
frustrated
still
maybe.
remember when I got my GI box. I went to my buddy's house. I can picture opening the case right there in like the guy in his living room and right next to his customized dining table, and it's still right there. And that was
Long time
40
ago.
plus years ago.
Yeah.
But it's just like crisp because the GI guy on the top cover is just badass. He's ready to take on the world. So it's really pretty. It's a really impressive cover. So gotta
Hello,
love the artwork,
Andrew.
right?
Andrew from New Zealand. Hello. Welcome. Clanky 44. There's a lot of competition in the tactical World War II gaming world for new players. ASL is but one option, and stock availability is questionable. Indeed. Indeed. That's kind of a, yeah, I don't get it. ASL and Starter Kit is not MMP's only game, but it's their flagship published game, and a lot of stuff is continually out of stock, and I don't get it. Yeah, I wish. I've had people comment on my videos, send me emails. I've gotten emails through my ASL Gmail account asking where they can buy it because they can't find it. And all I can say is, I don't know. eBay or one of these various groups, Consim Marketplace on Facebook. You can't,
I
it's
would,
hard to
I
find.
would, I would just always scour them, look for sets when someone's selling like their whole kit or some shit like that, and just plop down the cash and sell off the shit you don't want. It just works. It just, I mean, you'll have to work at divvying it all up, but there are resources available to do that. It took me 2 weeks to divvy up an ASL set for resale. I got pulled out what I wanted, but
Yeah.
that's fun. It's fun tinkering with counters and shit like that. You kind of get the feel. I want to play now.
Richard, I have a simple question. In what ASL core box is a British Order of Battle since for King and Country it's not being printed? It's in for King and Country.
What you could if you just
Uh,
if you need the counters, Richard,
oh
or
yeah,
and only 8 scenarios, then look for West of Alamein. I mean,
yeah. So
just
the
yeah.
option
But
is
if you need the counters,
pop that up again. Your options
because you can get those
are
for maybe 50 bucks for used West of Alamein.
a used copy of West of Alamein, which was first edition. Counter
Yep.
quality is questionable.
Right.
A used copy of for King and Country, or wait for it to be reprinted, whatever decade that might be. Three, if you're not worried about the scenarios that come with it, go to Broken Ground Design or Critical Hit. I would say Broken Ground. I did a counter quality
Right.
test, and Critical Hit came in nearly dead last. It was almost last or dead last. Broken Ground Design quality counters actually surprised me. They were pretty dang good. You can get the full British Order of Battle, just the counters from Broken Ground Design, just the counter sheets. If you're not worried
Yep.
about the scenarios, those are pretty much your only options that I can think of.
Font size. The font size is bigger. The numbers are bigger on those. Those look really
Yeah,
nice.
they're a little bit
I've
bigger on Broken
I've got
Ground
a giant
Design.
set.
Yeah.
They
Rob says, add me in the complexity, and ASL is more daunting.
yeah.
Yes.
It is. It is.
Y- Yeah. And the more
That's why
com-
I try to keep it simple. I just try to keep my ASL simple.
the more complex the thing you're playing, obviously the more complex it is. That sounds stupid, but we're playing Tarawa, and there are some times where I just feel like my brains are leaking out of my head. We're trying to figure out how things work. You know, we're in a trench connected to a bunker that's connected to a house in soft sand. The Japanese move different rates than the Marines, so how much does it cost to go from a
Oh
trench
shit.
into a soft sand gully? And you're just like, and you're looking stuff
Uh,
up, and you're just like, whatever. And you just keep playing at some point because we just get tired of it.
just drop some NOBA on their asses and you could kill them all. Just kill them all.
Jerry said, I agree 100%. It is so easy to take all of the SK modules on the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Todd, I remember watching when you guys were playing some ASL. That was really good. When all four of you guys were playing that game, I thoroughly enjoyed that. You had a good player mix of an experienced player playing with some moderately skilled players to new players. I'd love to see you guys do that some more. I think everyone would because that's what everyone's kind of like getting into is trying to learn little idiosyncrasies, and you guys were covering it really well. I thoroughly enjoyed that. So
Yeah.
just FYI, that's my opinion.
Just seeing people play,
Yeah,
and just regular people,
yeah,
regular average
just
players play,
regular dudes.
and to see, you know, we all make mistakes, but seeing the mistakes they maybe make and then seeing how they figure it out can help
Right,
people learn as well. And
big time.
I try to keep the videos on my channel. There are some people who publish articles, or maybe not many who do videos, but they're sometimes too complex what they dive into. I try to keep my stuff high level, the basics, so the 95% of us mortal ASL players either teaches us something, we learn something new, or it teaches new players how to use some kind of mechanic in ASL. Because there are more players like us out there than there are, the 1 or 5 percenters that go to tournaments every weekends, right? So I try to keep it simple, and watching regular players play is a great way to learn. I
Yep.
play ASL
Also,
once or twice a year and still have a complex with buying everything. It's a problem. Oh yes, that's my problem. Well, yeah, my problem is I have a freaking YouTube channel, so I kind of feel the need to get stuff
Cover a
to
lot of shit. Yeah.
talk about it or unbox it or something. So I've become a bit of a collector, based compared to how much I play the game as well. Art B2LT, that famous droid from Star Wars. Sorry, it's every time I read that name, I think Star Wars. What's the thought about new modules and all the extra duplicate counters? Oh boy, I hear some folks comment. Sounds like counter overload. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Um, I
Yes.
I I get it. I No, I don't. I don't know. I mean, they include the counters thinking, oh, this is the first module this or hassle maybe that this person has ever bought. The chances of
Still.
that are pretty low. So they put a bunch of counters in there. So now, we all have 10,000 German 467s and 8 million concealment counters in our collection.
What I want them to do is I want them to include circular counters or rectangular counters or different shapes of counters that signify different things in the game instead of having your whole stack of squares and bullshit. I mean, I go CX. If there's smoke, let me put a small circular smoke counter in the hex. I mean, god damn. I mean, they've got die cut counters, all GMT shits, different shapes. Come on, come
there
on, just squares, squares.
there are a lot of people that don't want ASL players that don't want change. I put a poll up on my website, old poll a while ago, and I said, or I asked, would you be interested in a one-off module, historical, mini historical, whatever it would
Right.
be, that was all new aesthetics, a new board with new art, new counter art, new rule layout, full color, and half the people,
Star Leader, Star Leader,
oh,
Star Leader.
I don't know if that's what we're gonna get, but you know what I mean. There,
Yeah.
if the production was different and it just
Yep.
updated the aesthetics to 2026 or whatever
Yeah.
year,
Like a test module.
and it's self-contained. It could all be played right. All the components work together. You wouldn't have to mix old stuff with new stuff. It's all self-contained. Half the people said no, that ASL
Hmm.
needs to stay in the 70s. They had no interest, even though it was self-contained. Not,
Interesting.
I would say, even if I was someone who believed that, I would say sure, I'd take a look at it. I wouldn't have to buy it, but I wouldn't just say no and completely dismiss it.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
I don't.
extra
Yeah.
counters, yeah, that's a problem because I have so many counters that I'll never see the light of day. Literally, they're in a box somewhere.
Yeah. I'm afraid to start punching my stuff because I got a full clean set of second edition. I don't know that I'll punch that shit out. To be honest with you, I'm gonna use if I ever get face to face my buddy set that he's already punched. I'm not gonna because then you just essentially just go down the rabbit hole if you say, oh, I need to punch everything now, which I did my first one. He kicked everything out, but
Yeah.
most of my I learned by the time West of Alamein came out, I just used the counters that I needed to use, and everything else is in the sprues, and literally 85% of it's still in the sprues in my old West of Alamein.
Clanky has a good question here. I want people in chat to answer as well. Oh, get rid of that. Question to you all. If ASL wasn't around, what tactical system would you immerse yourself in? Stu.
Um, I've been playing on the Combat Commander ladder. I've been trying to get into last 100 yards, but it's a little different. But the Combat Commander, it seems streamlined. Um, it has a fun movie sort of chaos to it. Um, you can't get over serious with it because
Yeah.
it's not over serious. It's just supposed to be a. It kind of reminds me of like playing Ambush back in the day, which is it tells a story. You're going through the story, the episode, the mission, and like your H guy Hank. I always my guy, he's always Hank. He gets shot. He'd have the guy at the bar, and you go pick him up at the bar, and he's wounded, and you just shit like that. And Combat Commander kind of gives you that feel. There's some quirkiness to it, like all of them, but Combat Commander reminds me of the great fun I had playing the Ambush series. So
I I don't have a lot of experience playing there's a lot of tactical systems out here. Like
Yeah.
some people
Yeah.
are mentioning uh, old school tactical, couple old school tacticals. I've tried. I've read the not all the rules. I've read some of the rules for Lock and Load, and I played the PC game.
Mm.
Didn't click with me for some reason,
Yeah. It's
and
a little different.
and that's as far as I can tell, that's a very large system. There's seems like there's so many additions and lots of rules, but I tried. What is it called? Conquest of Heroes? Is that what it's called? Something
Mm.
like
Not
that.
sure. Yeah.
It's got I think it's an impulse tactical game. Didn't click. Combat Commander clicked. It's it's got its foot in the ASL territory. You can tell. I mean, almost all these tactical games have they've been influenced by ASL. You can tell
Mm.
just by reading the rules. But Combat Commander, you're right that you can't take it too seriously. I mean, you shouldn't take ASL super seriously, but you cannot take Combat Commander seriously because ASL usually have a plan, and the plans usually go south. Combat Commander, you can have a plan, and they could be going perfectly, and then one turn,
Right. It's gone.
it's
It's
gone,
gone. It's
and
gone.
the player that's
That's
getting
that's
their
what I love about it.
and their player that's getting their ass kicked can
Yeah.
turn it around on the drop
Yeah.
of a dime. Just the draw of the cards and how you play
Yeah.
it. And I've played
Com-
games where the game has changed face in the blink of an eye, and
yep.
it's just it's it's just fun chaos. It's just
Yeah.
crazy sometimes.
Combat Commander is a game where you can't afford not to just keep the pedal to the metal and just go for it. Whereas ASL, it's I can control everything, whereas Combat Commander means you really can't control anything. It's just a matter of timing, and you've got to take advantage of all the timing. In ASL, if you need to get somewhere, you split everybody up and you just rush bodies, and if he doesn't have enough bodies to shoot at him, you get there. And if you roll bad, then you get, there's been more ASL games that you probably come out pissed off at versus the Combat Commander where he said, damn, if I
Yeah,
just had more move
you just
cards,
go,
and it's just like, it'd be great.
that
It
was
was a
fun.
fun game, but this because if you had those two cards, it would be completely different, and so it's not really that much of a limitation. Whereas, if you have a bad day of dice roll in ASL, it doesn't matter how many squads you got, you're just going to be annihilated. So there's more, and they're longer games. But I mean, I think it's a matter of more people. If you need to have control, if you need to have those chess-like feel, ASL is more chess-like. Um, Combat Commander is more like fishing, where you throw your bait
Fishing.
out there, and you're going to get hit or you're going to be end up dry, and that's pretty much. And guys love to fish, but so
Art B2LT says he likes to play old school cross of or squad leader through Cross of Iron. Apparently not GI.
yeah.
Jerry says I play Combat Commander a ton. This is a good point. I'm also looking at old school tactical. Combat Commander is a game. Once you're cool with that, it's a blast. Yeah, I
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
It's a game first and foremost.
Yep.
Uh, Rob says MMP does sell the eHazel rules set. Oh yeah, the
Mm.
book, and PDF as well. Rob says I'm pretty much with Combat Commander. Old School Tactical was fun, and Combat Commander is fun. Yeah, Combat Commander, Tobruk, Young Kitos 88. I've never heard of that one.
Mm.
GMT's New Panzer, yeah. Armor are some I played.
Yeah, I've got the series of Panzer. I was trying to reading through that, but again, don't have really a war game club, so getting online, trying to dig some people up can be arduous, and I just haven't had the time or motivation to get behind it. But I do have those. I have read those. I've watched Rough Swordsman do some Panzer stuff online. It's good stuff. So
David says, David says, my group Game group enjoys Conflict of Heroes. That's the name, not Conquest of Heroes. Conflict of
Oh,
Heroes.
Conflict of
Yeah,
Heroes.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Mostly for its 3 and 4 player scenarios. I also played the Conflict of Heroes PC game as well,
Oh, all
and
right.
yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't. It's okay for me, but
Yeah.
Combat Commander clicked. These other games haven't really clicked for me.
Right.
Plus, Combat Commander uh, is easy to learn, and the rules
Yeah.
are pretty well written and laid out. It's pretty
Yeah.
accessible.
That's a big because that's the rule book is not short. It's like SK-ish,
Yeah.
but it's clean. Everything's exactly where you can find it, and it's just easy to move on. If you got a question, it regardless of what question you have, it literally takes you probably about 60 seconds to find it in the rule book and decide what the hell to do. It's literally that quick.
Rob says, though I've been thinking about tactical combat series, I believe that's what you're saying, and fighting formations as my tactical level, where counters are platoon with squad breakdowns occasionally. Band of Brothers was enjoyable. Lock and Load Heroes was good, but I just don't know about its future. What future? I thought that's been around for quite a while. Is there
It
some
has. It has.
they having problems or some what's I don't know what Rob means there or what Todd means. Sorry.
I've got the online, the lock and load online, and it's engaging. It's fun. I had to learn kind of backwards. I read through the rule book. What I like about the rule book, it looks like it's super ass thick, but the font size is big, covers like a concept or two on a page, so it's really SK, but like one or two concepts per page instead of like 5 columns. So the rule book read isn't that bad. You're literally on page 50 by the time your lunch break is over, and um, but just to learn a couple concepts.
Hmm.
It's very colorful. The presentation is very good. I haven't had a actual real set. I've only played online, and you can adjust the view online, which is very nice. They give you an option of condensed or expanded. Um, I do enjoy some of those scenarios online, even
Well,
though you're AI bot.
the cool thing about Combat Commander is ASL suffers from. I mean, you have your pick of what scenario you want to play, size wise. Combat Commander scenarios, they're essentially all about the same. All the maps are the same size.
Right.
So you can
Yep.
just plop something down. It's going to take a certain amount of time usually to play it, as
Yep.
opposed to ASL. Sometimes a scenario can look small, but it plays big, and you're like, holy crap.
Right.
Combat
Right.
Commander, you kind of know what you're getting up front because all the maps are the same size, OBs are kind of the same. So that's kind of helpful.
Yeah. I do.
Uh,
I do like the single map effect of Combat Commander.
Old School Tactical has some beautiful maps and counters, and the rules are easy to follow. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually played Old School Tactical, like one of the earlier scenarios. Um, it was beautiful. Again, beautiful, beautiful map, beautiful counters. There was like one or two rules that seemed really non-intuitive. And it's like, why is this here? But other than that, it was a. I've been actually trying to get some Old School Tacticals. Their boxes are giant. They're fucking weigh 1,000 pounds. So, but just to have in my collection, and because it was fairly easy to pick up, and the map is you play on parts of the map, I believe, is the way it goes, and you utilize them essentially scenarios on the same size map. So the Old School Tactical is fun, but the boxes they take up a shit ton of space, and they're heavy, but
Yeah.
feels good. Feels
I,
good.
like I said earlier, I don't have a ton of experience with other board game based tactical uh, series or games. I think one reason why is because I only have so much RAM,
Yep.
and it's it's all
You gotta upgrade that shit.
it's all
Upgrade that
full
shit.
of ASL. And I remember when I first read the the Combat Commander rules, my brain it's been thinking squad leader ASL for so long that I
Yep.
have to try to forget it when I'm reading these other rules, and I have problems. disconnecting ASL from other tactical systems when I
Yeah.
read the rules. So yeah, I pretty much ASL is pretty much my only tactical system. I wouldn't mind playing some Combat Commander again eventually because I really liked it. But I also play and used to play a lot of computer games. I mean, there's
Mm.
war games that we've talked about that have computer versions. Anything above uh, grand or operational strategic, I'm not really interested in games like that. They're just too abstract. But I really love tactical level uh, computer gaming, like XCOM.
Mm.
Um, God, there was a
Close combat. Close combat back in the day.
Close Combat. There's a game that was released by the guys who did the first XCOM. I can't remember something Point, Phoenix Point,
Mm.
um, where you have squads of guys. You control individual guys. You have a squad, and you're fighting on this kind of randomized terrain. It could be swamp or forest, or and it kind of builds the terrain. And it's all turn-based, and yet you have to equip your individual squad members with weapons and armor, and
Damn.
you go on missions and fight. And I love those type of games, and I've played those a lot. Those are kind of in my wheelhouse. Where are we at? We're at 252. We're almost at three. We didn't get to spin the wheel, even though Amy demanded it way at the beginning. I don't know if she's still on. Yeah, she's still on. We didn't get to the wheel. We have to save time for our post random selection show song. It's a
Mm.
heavy one this time. In case you guys, I try to mix it up. In case you guys don't know, I've always been a metalhead, so a lot of my songs kind of lean towards rock and metal. This one is no exception. Not always, but I try to mix it up. But this one's kind of heavy. Um, Amy says, sad face. Yeah, she was lecturing me. She was saying, it's called the random selection show for a reason. You must spin the wheel.
Tell you
And
what. Tell you what we could do. We
if
could.
we're talking, we don't need to spin the wheel. We're just talking here.
You could spin the wheel. It will come up with a topic, and then we could do another live show, and then have that be the topic of the live show, so everybody else can come in with their opinions and go
We could do
balls to
that.
the wall on that, just to
Uh,
give them a sort of like a oh,
Heads up. Think about it.
see you next week.
Throw us some
You
curve.
know?
Do you want to do a live stream next week? This one went. This one started so well.
I, yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I just I have no clue. It should be all right. Yeah,
Do you want to spin
should
the
be all
wheel
right.
just for the hell of it?
Yeah, we spin the reel, give people a topic, what we're going to be talking about next week. And if it's
Yeah,
an
we'll
analysis
just.
thing, if the analysis thing come up, then we could actually work on it for the next week.
Oh, I think I took it off.
Oh, okay.
Let me
Oh,
share my main.
sad that there's the sad face that
Let me
Emily
share my
looks.
main screen here. Did I take off? I can add it real
Where is it? Where
quick.
is it?
Oh, I took it off.
There we go. In honor of Scott, that couldn't. His
Yeah.
computer exploded.
Well, we're missing sound effects. Scott is our sound
Yeah, yeah, I
effects
know,
guy.
right?
Here, I'll add it.
Is that it?
Analyze the scenario. Okay.
There you go.
It's
Sorry, Scott. Sorry, Scott. I should have been. I should have been more adept at getting your sound out
this will
there.
be the topic for next week if we have a live show. I don't know. We're just gonna spin it and see what we get.
Yeah.
Should I
Uh,
spin it again?
yeah. They need a
Okay,
hard
I'll
topic.
spin it
They need a
again.
hard topic. They need a hard topic.
You know what I would pick?
Steel Panthers. Oh, that's good.
I would
What's that?
pick
You would pick Star Leader.
Star Leader.
Star Leader. It's like fat. That's a fat one. Look at that.
Scott's favorite. Okay, let's spin again.
Come on.
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit. Now you know it's rigged. This is like
I know. I
12
randomized it.
and 12 on Vassal. This is bullshit.
I randomized. Okay,
12.
let's try again.
If you hit it again, I'm calling it a cheat. It's rigged.
Ah.
Okay.
Videos for
Videos
learning.
for learning.
This is right in our wheelhouse. I mean, you haven't made a
Yeah.
video for a while, but
No.
there's all kinds of videos out there. Okay. I don't
Yeah, that's a good
know
topic.
if we'll have a live stream next Saturday. I was planning on having a live stream not once a year, like This is kind of to sell Amy. It's rigged.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It
It's
is.
rigged. It's rigged.
I don't understand.
I
Wait,
don't
wait, wait,
understand
hold
the
on, hold on.
question. Yeah, we'll play that
Where
song.
is it? Where is it? Did you eliminate that one? Oh yeah.
No, it
I
should.
don't get the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll do a live stream next week. I would like to have one every few months, like 4 times a year, maybe. We did this one
Hmm.
because it's been a year, a little over a year since we started doing this. We thought it'd be fun to do live stream. Live stream. It sucks that Scott wasn't able to get things worked out and
Right.
ironed out. But yeah, thanks for everybody um, listening in.
Yeah, it was
And
cool.
I'll run where's the song? End song. Okay. We'll see you guys in the next show, whether it's a live stream or just a regular show that we'll post. We'll see you in the next show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the discussion, and we'll see you next week.
Get to the chopper!
If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, thanks for watching, and let me know how I can do better. See you in the next video.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. Yeah! Turn my mic up a little bit. Yo, check, mic check. 1, 2. Introducing the undisputed dogs of Cardboard. Neil Scott Stone. Lethal, drop the beat. Let's go. Yeah! Jump, 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 jump it in! Check it, check it, check it, check good show. Neil, Scott, Stu, woo! RSS in the house. We out.
Get to the chopper!
If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you saw, thanks for watching, and let me know how I can do better. See you in the next video.
That's it, man. Game over, man.